Welcome students to this class, and in the last class we studied exhaustive search method, and these are actually bracketing methods, and the next method in that series is bounding phase method. So first I would like to tell you how is it different from exhaustive search method. So let's review what is our exhaustive search method. In this method, what we do that we start with some initial point. This is our initial point. After then, what we do that we check at this point whether it is means we take 3 points and we see that what is the trend, if it is like this or like this, or if it is like this, and then when we see that it is like this, then we go to next 3 points, and after then the same kind of procedure, we go to the next 3, and then again next 3, next 3. This way we keep on searching until we get this kind of thing. So what you see there, see here that we are going point after point, and it will take a very long time. Means if your minimum is here, then you will have to go all the way through all these points. So this kind of limitation has been removed in the bounding phase method. So what is this bounding phase method? In this method we will start with some initial point, and we will check. For example, this is the point. We will check here whether it is minimum or maximum, or means minimum something like this, or it is like this, or it is like this. If we find that it is not there, then we take a bound like this. Means first we were checking our minimum or a trend like this and this in this bracket, and when we see that it does not exist here, then we increase the bracket. In exhaustive search method, our intervals were not increasing, they were constant. But here, if we find that there is no minimum point, then we in the next iteration we increase this bracket. And here also, if we don't find any minimum, then we jump to this area and we increase our bound. This bracket we will increase, and then again we will do this thing. We will keep on increasing our bracket, that is the interval. So you can see that if we are doing exhaustive search, we will go like this, we will jump like this. But in bounding phase method, we are making jump. Bounding means jumping, so we are making jump to this. So this way, if you are taking in the exhaustive search method 1 2 3 4 5 steps, you can do it in only in 2 steps. So this way you can make the search very fast. So let's go to the actual bounding phase method. Let's see how it is done. So this is the first step in bounding phase method. So first you need to guess some initial value of x from where you have to start and what increment you will go. So it is like interval in the thing that we were doing in exhaustive search method, and there is one more parameter, that is k, and in step 1 it is set to 0, and step number 2 is, now you calculate these 3 values. For example, on the x-axis, if you have, this is your initial guess, then you calculate this is your increment delta x here also, and delta x in the minus direction also. So at these 3 points you need to calculate these values. So this is this value, this is this value, and this is this point where you need to get the value of the function, and then after then you check these values. So if you get this kind of trend, now you have to check these values. If your values are coming like this, means if you are having this kind of trend, it is coming like this. So this is your f(x minus delta x), this is fx plus delta x. In that case, you take delta is equal to positive. Now, delta is the numerical value that here you had set, and then now you have to suppose you took here 5. So now onward you will say this delta is equal to plus 5, and if you are getting this kind of trend, this trend is like this at 3 values. So here you will take delta is equal to minus negative values. So in the numerical you will see that when you are taking delta positive, then you will go in the forward direction. When you will make jumps, you will make jumps in the forward direction. That, and obviously you can see here that our trend is coming downward, so it means that our minimum will be here somewhere. It cannot be here. That's why we are taking delta is equal to positive, so that we can go forward. And if the condition is like this, it means that our minimum will be somewhere here. So that's why we are going in this direction for this search. We are making jump in the negative direction. Or if the calculated values don't fall even in this and in this, then you will go to step 1 again. Here again you will take the initial value, some initial value you will guess, and you will guess increment, and then you will come to the step 2. So okay, if you are in this case, then you will go to step 3. What you will do in the step 3? The step 3, you will set xk plus 1 is equal to xk plus 2. It is the increment with your sign, positive or negative, whatever it is. After then step 4, this is actually algorithm, and you will understand this when you will solve the numerical. Step 4 is you check the values at this point, what is the value of the function, and at this point what is the value of the function, and if it is less than this, then you set k is equal to k plus 1, means here it was 0, you had set this at 0, and after then you came here, it is still 0, then you will make k is equal to 1 now, and you will go to step 3 again. Then you will again set value of x like this, and now you can say that you can see that you are increasing the increment, because in the first step it was this value was to the power 0, and in the next iteration it is now to the power 1. This way you will increase your increment. Okay, now we are coming to again one condition in 4 is this: if it is less than, and if it is greater than, what you will do then? If it is if it is greater than, then the minimum, then it will give you this result that the minimum lies in the interval this and this, and this was your aim. So you have found that your minimum is here, lies in between these 2 points. So now you will terminate. After then, and if it is not the case, then you will again go to step 3, keep on doing this step until you get to this point. Okay, now we will solve the numerical problem, because in theory it is very difficult to understand the idea. In the numerical we will solve it. So we are doing the same problem that we took in exhaustive search method, and in this we will use bounding phase method. So find minimum of this function using bounding phase method. So what you will do, step first is step 1, it is here, you can review this. You have to guess an initial value and an increment you have to set, and then k is equal to 0. So we will do all these things here. You can understand it in a very better way now when we are taking the real example. Initial guess, let's say any value you can take. I have taken 0.6, and an increment I have taken 0.5. and k is equal to 0 has been taken. So these 3 values we have taken, or you can say that we are starting from here. Suppose this is 0.1, then this is 0.5, 0.6. We are starting from this point, and we are taking an increment of this 0.5 increment. Now we will calculate these three values, this and this. So okay, 0.5 means you will come up to here also. 1.1 it will be. So this way, at these 3 points you have to calculate the value of function. So here I have taken this delta directly. Here I wrote x with it, so it does not make any difference actually. It is just some numerical value. Here it is 0.5. So but actually the better way to write it, it is this way. So what we are doing here, that this is actually 0.6 minus 0.5, so this is 0.1 and this is 0.6 already, and this value is 0.6 plus 0.5, so it is 1.1. So what we are doing actually, we are calculating the value of function at this way. Suppose this is 0, 5, this is 1, this is 0.5, this is 0.6. so one value is the x is this, that is this, and 0.1 is this, 0.1. so one value you will find here and one value 1.1. so at these 3 points you have to get the value of the function. So let's see how you will get. So after calculation you will get these values. You can put 0.1, for example, for this 0.1 you put in this function, then you will get this value, and then same way 0.6 and here also. So what we are doing, that we are calculating value function at these 3 points. And now I will show you the big picture actually. If you will see the graph this way, then what you have done here, then that we have calculated one value at 0.1, that is 540, and it will come here somewhere here. This is first value for 540, and after then 90 is at 0.6. This is 0.6. then here you can say that this value is somewhere here. It is not actually according to scale, I am just showing you the concept actually. And at 1.1 it is 50, so this point is here, it is around here. So what is the trend? It is coming like this, down in this interval. So obviously there we can guess that our minimum will lie somewhere here. So we will go in this direction, we will make jump in this direction, the jump I was talking about here. In this, when I explained this thing to you, then I told you that we make jump. So we will make jump in this side. It means that we will decide the increment delta equal to positive. This is our result. So set delta is equal to positive 0.5. At this time when we set it, it could be negative or positive both. But after this calculation we decided that we will jump forward, because it is showing this kind of trend. We cannot go in this direction to find the minimum because it is increasing here. So that's why we have set here positive. Now we will make step 3. What is this step? You can go to the algorithm, you will find it here. Step 3 is this, set this equal to this. So we will write it in the numerical way. So you will, if you will write it that thing, then this is the next value of your guess. So this way you will make a jump. This was your first value and it was 0.6, and now this is 1 and 0.5. So you will make a jump to 1.1. So now your point has come this here. Okay, you made jump from 0.6 to here because you found that in this region there is no minimum. Now what is step 4? Step 4 is for calculating the values. This is step 4. You have to calculate 2 values at both the points. So I am calculating it. you have to calculate value at this point and this point. So what is the value of 1.1? You can calculate it, or you can see that we calculated it already, that is 50.301. And at 0.6 it was 90.30360. So what is this? What is it is showing? It is less than, or you can say that this value is less than. So actually you have made this trend, got this trend here in these 2 points. You calculated the trend, and according to the step 3, if it is like this, then you have to go to the next bound. So set, and in our case it is true. So what we will do, that we will set what is the value of new value of k, it will be 1. Now go to step 3 again. As it was here, go to step 3. So what is this, your step 3? Then again you have to set next values. So the next values will be, so I am writing here next iteration actually is a part of step 4, and it is for k is equal to 1. So new values will be, what are the new values? It is xk plus 1, that is now it will be 2. So you need to practice it, and it is 1 delta here come. So the next value of x will be this, and if you will calculate it, 2.1 has come. So you can say that this is 1 and this is 2. Now you will jump to this point. From here you will jump to this point, and again you will calculate values at these 2 points. This is the thing that we are doing up to now. So again calculate values at both the points. If you will calculate it at 2.1, you put this value in the function, you will get 30.124, and the value of f at this x1 point was this 50.306. So again we are having this thing that 2.1 is less than 1.1. So it means that it is showing this kind of trend. Again it is coming down. So again we will have to go to the step 3 and decide next k. So next iteration, what you will do, k is equal to k plus 1, k is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Now k is equal to 2. This is the next iteration that I have done. So again here it is also less than this. So it means that it is making a trend like this, 1 2 3 4. So here also it is less than, it is coming like this. Now we will go again, next iteration we will go. So this is the next iteration, k is equal to 3 here. Next value of x is 8.1. So what is the point here? In the graph you can see that 5 6 7 8. So you will jump up to here actually, you know. So you will get value here, calculated, you calculated the value here, and you have got 72.277 at this point. So what it is actually saying, that you are getting a value here. So obviously this is showing a trend like this. So now you will stop here and terminate. So if it is showing a trend like this, you will terminate, and now you will you can decide that your minimum lies between k minus 1, that is the point 2.1, and k plus 1, 8.1. so what is in the graph? This was your xk minus 1, this point, and it is your xk plus 1. So you can say that your minimum lies between these 2 points. So in a very raw manner, you have found that in what range or in what bracket your minimum lies. So this was the this was our aim, to find in what bracket the minimum lies. And if you want to make it more accurate, then we can apply more sophisticated methods. So we can come up to this bracket. We can decide this bracket. So okay students, this way you have got the concept that what is bounding phase method. You can practice it and read from the book also, so to understand it in a better way. For this class, thank you very much.